Welcome dear students. My name is Dr. Kuldeep Kumar Tyagi. I am professor in the Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding in the College of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel University of Agriculture and Technology. So today we are going to discuss a very pertinent topic, that is dog breeding, marketing and sales. So in 2017, government has come up with guidelines and issued a gadget in this regard, that how ethical dog breeding, marketing and sales business should be carried out in India. So anybody who is trying to jump into this venture should know these guidelines so that this business can become legally viable in India. So we will be discussing this thing. So students, the topic of today's lecture is guidelines for dog breeding and sales business in India. So you must be aware that the Indian pet industry has a total turnover of 25,000 crores, that approximately equals 3 billion US dollars. The population of pet dogs in India from 2014 to 2023 with estimates until 2028 in millions can be seen in this graph. And during 2024, it has been estimated that around 36.85 million pets resides in India. So looking to the quantum of population and business involved, along with the ethical practices one should use for dog breeding and marketing so that their welfare can be ensured, the government has come up with Dog Breeding and Marketing Rules 2017. These rules are called as Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, Dog Breeding and Marketing Rules 2017. Some key terms that has been used in this gadget, and one of them is Animal Welfare Organization. So a welfare organization for animals can be defined as the one that is recognized by the board and includes a society for prevention of cruelty to animals established in any district under the prevention of cruelty to animals. So there is one board at the central level, that is the Animal Welfare Board of India, and it has boards in the each state. And there are society for prevention of cruelty to animals in each district. So all these organizations and societies look into the matters related to the animal welfare of animals in India, and they are the main agencies to enforce these welfare laws in India. And these dog breeding and marketing rules, they have also given the powers to these organizations and these societies to look after that these gadget guidelines has been properly been used by the breeders all across the country. So another key term that has been used in the gadget, I am just specifying the important ones, and more detailed key terms has been given in the gadget. I will show you in the last slide that the glimpse of that gadget. Okay, so one can always refer that gadget for more details because it is beyond the scope of this lecture within the given time limit to cover each and every point. So another important key term is breeder. So breeder can be defined as an individual or group of person who own dogs of a specific breed for breeding and sales of dog and pups, and includes boarding kennel operators, intermediate handlers and traders. So basically these state animal welfare boards or the Animal Welfare Board of India has been given the responsibility of the inspection of dog breeders across India, and dog breeders or anybody who is into the marketing and dog breeding business is liable to be get inspected by these organizations. He or she cannot deny it. Okay, and they can come to your premises and look that whether all the welfare standards has been adopted by your firm or as an individual when you are doing this business, right? So we will be discussing this, what are the things one should keep in mind before starting a startup or an entrepreneur activity about the dog breeding and marketing in India, so that a strong foundation based on the animal welfare principles as well as legally compatible business can be established by the veterinary graduates or other people like agriculture graduates or any graduate stream who wants to come into the dog breeding business. So they tell you that whether based on the facilities you have, the condition you fulfill from these guidelines, you will be registered or prohibited. So basically, first thing is that there is a legal requirement to run a dog breeding business and marketing in India. And for that, one must have a certificate of registration of dog breeding center. So this is the format in which they give you this certificate of registration uh, of the dog breeding center. So registration part, that is, who can register to start a dog breeding and marketing business? Either you should be an individual major, that is 18 plus, or a corporation, company, or other association of persons duly registered can start a dog breeding and marketing business in India. So what are the main points of the application for the registration? So you should know that a new application has a prerequisite of rupees 5,000 non-refundable fee that has to be submitted. Then, once you submit your complete application form, the Animal Welfare Board or the person designated by them will inspect and shall fix the maximum holding capacity of the breeding kennel. That is, it is not the dog breeder who is going to define the holding capacity of the breeding kennel. It will be decided by the inspecting board. So, accordingly, by following these guidelines, you will not face any problem in near future, so that because on the holding capacity your business is going to be, the ledger sheet is going to be established. That is the economics part. So by following these guidelines, you will face less problems in getting a good holding capacity of the breeding kennel as per the law. The third important thing is that the certificate of registration is valid for 2 years. And before the completion of this 2 years, 30 days prior to expiry, a renewal can be applied. For that renewal also, you have to deposit rupees 5,000 to the concerned authority. So if we talk about the other conditions like sales, that is how a sales can be carried out. So first thing is up to 0 to 8 week of the pup, you cannot sell any pup. Okay. Then the sale is mainly to be confined between the 8 weeks to 6 months. Then if your pups become more than the 6 month of age, you can only sell them to a licensed breeder or sell them after sterilization. So only dogs in good health, microchipped with complete record of treatment and vaccination can be sold. So important thing is here is that dogs and pups are not sold for use in experiments. unless the purchaser is a breeder registered with the committee for the purpose of control and supervision of experiments on animals, that is CPCSEA. This you should know, that you should not sell them to the for the experiment purpose, right? You can only sell them if purchaser have a license, or a breeder has a license of CPCSEA. Then, provided that the sale of pups by the purchaser shall only be made to the facility registered with CPC. So these are the some of the requirements for the sale of the pups. So what information needs to be kept as records? So first thing is you have to keep the name of the breed in the register, then name and number of litter number, microchip number, sex, color and markings, date of birth, name and microchip number of sire and dam. Here sire is the father and the dam is the mother of that pup. The name of breeder from whom acquired, if any, that is from where you have acquired that pup in that case. Then date of acquisition, then date and duration of lease. Sometimes some breeder take pups or animals on lease also, so that has to be entered in the register. Date and place of mating, the number of persons handling the mating, the name and number of dog including microchip number with which you have mated your female dog, the name and address of the owner where applicable, date of whelping, number of pups whelped by sex, color and marking, litter registration number if any, date of sale, death or rehabilitation of each pup so described, name and address of the purchasers, then cause of death as determined by veterinary doctor and post-mortem report of each dog that dies in the establishment, and last, any other information that is deemed relevant by the board or the state board. So these records you have to keep while running a dog breeding kennel. So these are some of the formats of the records. First one is the register of breeders and supplier of pups. It has around 10 columns. So the one which I have described already in the earlier slide, like name and address of the breeder supplier, their contact number and email, date of transaction, description of dog breed, age of animal, vaccination details, dog breed set establishment, microchip number of the dog breed, and remarks. So these things has to be kept in this register. Then other register is register of sale and dog pups. So it will include name and address of purchaser, contact number, sale amount, category or breed, the color, microchip number, sex, age, vaccination record, and at last in the 11th column, remarks. Then another register is of health and medical records of the dog and pups. It has date on which animal was vaccinated, sex of animal, age of animal, details of litter if any, date of sale or disposal otherwise, medical attention provided, in case of death how the animal was disposed, and in the 9th column we have remarks. So basically annual report has to be provided to the animal welfare board of your concerned state, and what they expect from you in the annual report as a data is that the total number of animals sold, traded, bartered, brokered, given away, boarded or exhibited at your breeding kennel. Another important point is that no license by the local authority is given to you, that is the municipalities, unless the breeder has obtained a certificate of registration from the state board. So in housing, the facilities, they have described certain things. That is, dogs should have it suitable kennels or accommodation. that is construction size, number of dogs, exercising facility, proper temperature, lighting, ventilation and cleanliness, impervious material that can be sanitized, and wood shall not be allowed. So these are the things which defines a suitable kennel or the accommodation. Then in indoor housing facility, runs or pens totally enclosed in a barn or building, or of connecting inside or outside runs or pens with a totally enclosed buildings are required. Then for care and upkeep of dogs, adequate quantity of wholesome food at suitable intervals of not more than 8 hours. This is important. Then adequate supply of fresh, clean drinking water in a safe, receptacle, dish or container, and it should be available all the times to the dog. Then for the breeding facilities, the important thing is, first one is only normal, healthy, mature female dogs that have reached their 18th month shall be bred and shall be certified as healthy by a veterinary practitioner at least 10 days prior to their being bred. The second important point is that no female dog shall be exploited to produce litters in 2 consecutive breeding seasons. Female dog shall not be mated after the age of 8 years. The female dog shall not be used such that they give birth to pups before the end of the period of 12 months, beginning with the day on which they last gave birth to pups. Then only 1 litter shall be produced in 1 year, and artificial or unnatural techniques such as artificial insemination and rape stent should not be used to impregnate dogs. That is, artificial insemination is being not allowed under these guidelines. Then no female dog shall be exploited to give birth to more than 5 liters of pups during her lifespan. This is another important point from this guidelines. Then another facilities for breeding, one should not go for any tail docking, ear cropping, debarking, declawing, branding, dyeing, injecting substances to enhance visual appearance, then performing a surgery or procedure to camouflage or hide any defect or infirmity or any other kind of mutilation of any body part of the pup, and any change of appearance by artificial means. These are strictly forbidden under these laws, and the breeding to create new breeds of dogs or unusual looks shall be strictly prohibited under these guidelines. So one should be aware about these things. And what is allowed as per the breeding plan? Outbreeding. What is outbreeding? When the mating pair are not at all related, or either you can go for the line breeding, that is, they might be marginally related. What is not allowed there? That is inbreeding. That is if the mating pair is related within the 4 generations, okay, and incest breeding, that is close family relation matings are not allowed. As far as the health is concerned, every breeder shall have the service of a consultant veterinary practitioner. Either he should be himself a veterinary practitioner, or he should hire a consultant veterinary practitioner available to attend to emergency medical requirements, and records of his visits at least once every month shall be maintained in writing. That is, in register, the entry should be there, and a veterinary concerned veterinary doctor should visit the facility at least once every month. Then individual health records shall be maintained of all the animals above the age of 8 weeks, or that have been weaned, or that have been treated with a medical procedure, whichever occurs first. And all pups shall be vaccinated, which can start at the age of 7 to 8 weeks and are usually completed at the age of 18 weeks. That is important. Another important thing is test dogs for genetic defects like hip dysplasia, progressive retinal atrophy, etc. And post-mortem report shall be maintained of all animals euthanized, and all carcass, including those that naturally died, must be incinerated and shall not be sold in any case. So this has been given as a guideline. Accordingly, the structure, the facilities must be created while starting a dog business. So dear students, and last I would like to show you that this is the gadget we have followed for formulating this lecture. And in the last, after discussing the key points, I would like to give you a glimpse of the detail about the housing that is given on the page number 26 in part 4 of this schedule, that is about the housing facilities and manner of housing dogs. So it talks about many points, many of which we have already discussed, and some has been given there. Although looking to the length of the video, I am summarizing them the in a mainly the main bullet points. Okay, so if you need to go through the details of this, you can refer this gazette, and it talks about the structure and construction. Many of points we have already discussed, and like impervious surface should be there, proper space should be given, like those. So these some more details has been given here. Then storage facilities, it talks about the storage facilities also, that how a storage facility should be there, then how the cleaning should be carried out, then about the drainage and waste disposal from a breeding kennel. Then water and electricity, of course we have seen that 24-hour water supply should be available to all the pets. Then they should be kept in ambient and comfortable temperature. Of course the ventilation lighting part we have discussed, that it should be properly adequately ventilated and proper lighting should be provided. Then chemicals, that is for normal husbandry practices, cleaning and dispensation, like which should be used. Okay, and they should be kept in secure cabinets in the animal area, and they should be clearly labeled, right? Likewise for the medicine, they should be stored in clean dust restricting cabinet with well fitted doors. Okay, and they should be marked and labeled. So like these they have given the details. Then fire detection and extinguisher, of course when you will get a NOC from the fire department, so all these things they will check upon. It talks about this also, that we should be well prepared in case there is a fire hazard at a kennel. So a primary things can be done in such cases. Okay, and then they talk in detail about the outdoor housing facilities. So one should refer these outdoor housing facilities points before finalizing their plan for this kennel. And when you tether a dog, then how it should be done. Okay, so they talked about this thing also. And then compatibility of dog, and another thing which one should take care of, that is we should only place those dogs together which are compatible with each other. Okay, then the exercise of dogs and socializing they talk about, and then the feeding part, that is how they should be fed, cleaning, sanitation and housekeeping, then housekeeping of for the premises, then annual vaccination of dogs. This is very important, because without this you cannot go for sales of the pups. Okay, so you should follow proper annual vaccination of all the dogs available with you. Then employees, they should be taught about the proper handling and husbandry practices for the pet dogs. And of course in last they talked about the identification of dogs, that is must for keeping the pedigree records. So in total this is the gadget part. So I think after going through these things, you can lay a very strong foundation of a sustainable dog breeding, marketing and sales business in your area that will be legally viable and sustainable in future. So dear students, we have seen that these guidelines are very much useful for carrying out a ethical dog breeding, marketing and sales business in India. So if we follow these guidelines, it is for sure that it is not only the ethical business we will do, in future it will also be a sustainable one. So everyone should at least know all these guidelines so that he can lay a strong foundation of a dog breeding, marketing and sales business. Thank you.